All right, guys, so getting the receivers installed in the bedroom. Again, here's the wall plate. As you can see, we already have our coax cable hooked up to the fold down satellite. We have our HDMI wire hooked up into the input for the bed TV. Now you're only going to see this on the 19s as an input. If you, all the other models, the older models, it is actually an output. That is where you hook up and it hooks into your to the TV over here with the HDMI. But on the new 19s, they're giving you a hookup for the HDMI. And if you look right over here at this block right here, you can see HDMI wires hooked up into it. This is it's basically an AB switch for HDMI, selector switch, whatever you want to call it. And there is a button all the way back here, all the way on the back. You can see that there's a button you press. That is to switch what the input is. So on this coach, basically the DVD player and the satellite are coming into that selector box, and you have to choose whether you want the DVD playing or if you want the secondary satellite receiver going in. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing installed. All right, so if you guys look, we're installing it in the top cabinet. We're just running the wires down there's a hole for it to go down over in that back corner. The amount of things that are in here, it's preferable that it's in the top cabinet. All right, so Matt is just hooking up all of the wires on the back of the receiver. Again, it's just power, HDMI, and one coax.
I'm right-handed, maybe I should do that.
All right, so now that we got it in set, what we're gonna do is turn the TV on. So let's grab the TV remotes. Right, I'm just gonna turn the TV on. It's actually the Blu-ray remote.
Right.
Okay, we're gonna switch the source on the bedroom TV to HDMI 2. All right. On the other TVs, it'll be HDMI 1, but on the bedroom TV, it's going to be HDMI 2. All right, and you can see it popped right up. The selector box, again, if I press the selector box and turn on the Blu-ray player, we should see the Blu-ray pop up, and there it is. All right, so again, I'm going to go back there and swap it, the selector box over, and turn it over to the DirecTV side. All right, at this point, what we're doing is putting, waiting for it to get locked into the activation screen. Again, we want to make sure that we're locked into satellite when we're doing this. If you had both receivers at the same time, this would have been done, but because we were waiting on this receiver, we're doing this at a separate time. Can you get the a different Samsung remote, TV remote? All right, so it's just going through its loading process. Once it loads up, it should, once it loads up, it should get to that activation screen that we're looking for. Okay, so from here, it looks like we're stuck on Spanish. Might have to, we'll change it over to English later. Here, Matt, you do the controlling. Here, there it is. There's your choice right there. Now, right now, because the receiver's still on IR mode, we have to have the door kind of open and point the remote at the receiver. So hit select so we can switch it to English.
Ah.
Oh, here, let me help you. You hit the back button. So now it's going back to the configuration. You still have the account number from earlier? Okay, now do not activate it yet.
Oh, the number to do it with.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you technically do. It's right on that box too. Okay, so switch to English. Alright, so from here, we're back to the activation screen. Again, we're going to go on the cell phone. We're going to load up the customer's account number like I showed you earlier. And at this point, now he's going to put the receiver ID number that's on the screen. Alright, so again, Matt's doing it on his phone. Once he moves away from, so just click on something else like this. What we want to see is that these numbers over here, that these other numbers below auto-populated again, right? So once we have that, you can see that he renamed the location RV bedroom, all right? And you can see the check mark next to the one that needs to be activated. You can see the one above, it's kind of grayed out because it's already been activated. So he's just going to activate this one receiver. So go ahead and hit the activate button on your phone. All right, again, we're going to get these screens prompting you that, you know, equipment has been activated, and shortly we should see the screen start to change. Now while it's just doing it, remember guys, 2018 and older, how we're going to run the HDMI wire. There will be another wire here, or there'll be an extra slot. I think the older ones had 3 HDMIs. This one only has 2 HDMIs, and this is actually a USB. So on the older ones, there'll be 3 HDMIs, and you'll be able to just run another HDMI in this pocket, strap it up to this wire that's here, and depending on if you're going up or down, you can go up with it, or you could go underneath and up and over into your receiver. All right, so here we are. Again, I mentioned earlier, sometimes you'll get X's. All right, it's not a big deal. What we're going to do is go ahead and hit continue. Again, if there was a thing that said get waiver, we would have to get the waiver. And again, until we set up the RF mode on the remote, you have to point the remote to it. So, yep, English. Let's go ahead, select. All right, continue. All right, here we are again, begin remote setup. So select, go move down to RF remote setup. Okay, change that over from IR to RF. And hit continue. And again guys, this is the remote right here. It is that circle with the arrow and the select button in the middle. That's how we're doing everything here. All right, again, Matt is putting in these numbers into the remote, aiming it right at the receiver the whole time. Once this process finishes and you press select for the second time, it'll automatically clear out this screen if it was successful. Okay, so go to continue. All right, here we are downloading the program guide. All right, and here we go getting the guide download. As this is going, there's one more step we need to do, and we need to do it on both receivers. All right, if you guys notice where's the IRI? All right, this right here is the IR transmitter eye. Okay, it will be tucked somewhere in the cabinets back here. There will be also one in the front. Why is this important? This needs to get installed on the receiver because when you use the Vega Touch to control your receiver, if this isn't there, even though we're setting the remotes to RF and remote frequency, the Vega Touch still uses this to send information to the receiver. So if the customer was using the Vega Touch only to change the channel or to operate the DirecTV receiver, they would need this in place. So what we want to do is locate the Connects IR block. That is all the way back here. All right, you can see that there's a red light on, which is good. Again, if you don't see the light on, guys, remember there's a fuse, a 1 amp fuse, inline fuse block right here. Let me see if I can pull it out. Here it is, right there. See if I can get you guys some better light. Right here, 1 amp fuse. So if that red light isn't on, that's the first place to check. So how do we wire this thing up? Simple. You can see that it's got a standard jack, and you can see on the side of the Connects, it just plugs right in. And as far as the receiver, what you want to do is get a flashlight. And you can see as soon as I put the light on it right here, there is kind of like a discoloration. That is where the IR is picked up. So you just want to stick the eye on there. So hold on while I get Matt to do this. So you're just going to plug it into that Connects module back there. You're going to run it up this way, or you could drop it in first. And you see right here where I was showing, you see that discoloration right there, that square? That is where the eye goes.
Okay. So any one of those ports?
Yeah, any one of those ports. It doesn't matter which one you use as long as it's there. And let me check on where we are with the TV. And the TV is up and running. Alright guys, so at this point, while Matt's doing that, I'm going to go through the settings again, and I'm going to adjust the different settings for the display. So display, preferences, hide SD duplicates, that's what we want. Video, change it over to stretch. TV ratio, 16:9, good. TV resolutions, all chosen, good. Now we can get out of here. Again, check channel 202 for CNN, make sure it's coming on. Or again, if you don't like CNN, Fox News, all right? There you are. So here we can see and verify that it's working properly. All right, at this point, let me see what Matt's up to. There he is. He's already got it plugged in, and he's just setting it. What I'll do is I'll run that wire underneath here. So run everything underneath and have it come up from the bottom. So again, guys, if you overheard what I just told Matt, you want to hide that IR emitter wire underneath the receiver, and then have the eye coming up from the bottom, and then we're going to glue it right onto that spot. Again, if you have a flashlight, it really helps to find that spot. And there you go. All right.